tonight we're going to be talking about something that has been on everybody's mind for the last couple of months, especially with the release of The Reckoning, and that's the idea of a super Easter egg within Black Ops 6 Zombies. Definitely stay tuned. Now, I last addressed this back when there was an update because of the Call of Duty Recon Squad. Just for context, Activision outsources questionnaires, surveys, and even Zoom meetings with a group called Fuel Cycle. They'll randomly invite anybody out there who plays Call of Duty to ask them questions about their experience, what they want to see in the future, and also opens the door for feedback on things that you guys might want introduced into the game. Well, during one of those meetings, somebody out there reached out to Detonate It to claim that the super Easter egg for BO6 Zombies was actually brought up. Now, the people that were hosting the meeting didn't bring it up themselves, but participants in the meeting did bring up the idea that the Pack-a-Punch camos from every round-based map could be rewards for a super Easter egg. Now, if you ask me what I'm thinking, I don't think the Pack-a-Punch camos would be quote-unquote enough for a actual super Easter egg unlock. If anything, I think Pack-a-Punch camos should be considered as main quest rewards when you beat a map for the very first time. Now, it's unknown what that feedback has led to. Did the Fuel Cycle send that over to Treyarch and say, hey guys, we suggest that you release the Pack-a-Punch camos for use on any weapon in any mode by the end of Black Ops 6? That's one possibility, but I do think in the long run, especially for Black Ops 7, Pack-a-Punch camo rewards may end up being introduced as main quest unlocks or through Zombies-focused challenge events. So just to be clear, nothing was confirmed during the Recon Squad for a super Easter egg, as in Pack-a-Punch camos weren't mentioned to be the rewards we were going to see. I already saw plenty of folks kind of running with that narrative after the detonated report, even though the tweet was pretty clear as to what it actually meant. But during the initial Season 5 creator call for Black Ops 6, a lot of zombie creators were really curious in asking Kevin Drew about the possibility of a super Easter egg. Now, Kevin did say, and I quote, "no comment," which doesn't confirm or deny the existence of a super quest of any sort within Black Ops 6. I also wish we got a chance to actually ask him about this in person, but because the Treyarch event a couple of weeks ago was fully centered around Black Ops 7, there really wasn't a chance to talk much about a super Easter egg for BO6. Now, here's what I'll say. If there's anything that's going to come close to, let's say, Director's Cut or Mephistopheles from Infinite Warfare, something like that is probably best saved for Black Ops 7. Not that I don't want a super Easter egg reward in BO6, I just find it highly unlikely, as we'll get back to later in this video, that we're going to get anything that's too crazy or gameplay centered when clearly they want us focused on the next Call of Duty coming out in November, not Black Ops 6. They wouldn't want zombie players to say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to stick with BO6 instead of picking up a new copy of BO7. In the past, super Easter eggs for Treyarch games specifically haven't ever been too grand, but looking back at Black Ops 1, you had to complete Call of the Dead and Shangri-La to do the Big Bang Theory during Moon. Now, that was a prerequisite that was actually removed in Zombie Chronicles Moon, but the super Easter egg in Black Ops 2 was pretty interesting because we actually unlocked it during DLC 3, not 4. So by having done all the Victus Easter eggs on one specific side, so let's say the Maxis side, you'd be able to click a big shiny button inside of Buried at the end of that map's Easter egg quest to unlock the actual ending of the side that you picked. Now, the expectations were far too high during Black Ops 3 for what could have been an alternate ending in Revelation. Sadly, the super Easter egg was simply down to a calling card, a bunch of XP, and the ability to spawn in with an RK5 in every round-based map if you had done every main Easter egg from year 1 of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Black Ops 4 sadly didn't offer anything for a super Easter egg, which I'm sure is due in part because of budget cuts and the fact that Chaos was meant to be the focus of year 1, Ether year 2. Yes, I'm aware of the free doors that you unlocked by doing the main Easter eggs and then playing another match subsequently. Not really a super Easter egg reward, that was just more of a bonus for having done a quest in your previous match. And then going back to Treyarch's most recent Call of Duty Zombies before Black Ops 6, we have Cold War. So this wasn't actually something that released during Season 6 with the release of Forsaken, DLC 4. Instead, this was a part of a year 2 update that Cold War Zombies had gotten many months after Vanguard had come out. Now, a super Easter egg consisted of you heading over to a very specific area of the zoo point of interest. This is, of course, only an outbreak. And when you interacted with this ritual, you'd see a really cool animation and a prompt that you had now unlocked purple rarity every time you spawned into any match of round-based, onslaught, or even outbreak. On top of that, you also got a ton of cosmetic rewards added to your inventory. But I think with the teaser tweets we've seen over the years from Kevin Drew, and with the expectations rising considering a 4-year gap from Cold War to Black Ops 6, people have been expecting a bigger super Easter egg, and probably the biggest one that Treyarch's ever worked on. But the way I see it, there's few opportunities left to actually do a super Easter egg. I think if we don't end up seeing one with the release of Season 5 Reloaded or directed support for The Reckoning, then I suppose they could always drop one during Season 6 The Haunting. I doubt they would even update Black Ops 6 Zombies at all once BO7 is out, so I think the true window for this to happen is any point before November the 14th. Now, while they could share some information about this in the mid-season 5 blog post, which is just around the corner, that's if they want to drop one, I do think this is something that is better saved as a surprise for the Zombies community, so that when folks boot up their game with the release of Season 5 Reloaded, or some point in the future, they'll see a bunch of content added to their inventory for having done all the Easter eggs. But yes, I also saw plenty of tweets from people suggesting that another round-based map had been discovered for Black Ops 6. No, I don't think that's actually something we're going to be seeing before the release of Black Ops 7. I think all of the focus and attention is currently on round-based for Black Ops 7 right now. I doubt they would just drop a round-based map at the last second, even if it's a small one for BO6. What I do think we're going to see is another reskin for Liberty Falls or one of the round-based maps in BO6 to go along with whatever haunting updates they have inside of Season 6 or another event altogether. But something that I'll elaborate a lot more on in a separate video going over survival for Black Ops 7 Zombies is that with the rumors of a classic mode that have resurfaced, it looks like that's something that's actively being worked on since new leaks were discovered for it following the launch of Season 5. Is it possible that for whatever reason a super Easter egg unlock is a classic mode for BO6, considering Jingle Hells is already very close to a classic mode, even though I feel like it was a bit too difficult for your average player and didn't play as good as I think people would have hoped? Is it plausible that a classic mode could be an unlock for having done all the quests? Now, while it's possible, I just don't think that's something they'd want to introduce in BO6, especially with those modifiers that were leaked out by Reality UK, a known data miner. I feel like a classic mode is something you can actually and actively market for Black Ops 7 Zombies, so to release that in BO6 would probably make it pretty redundant since BO7 is just around the corner. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I don't think anything gameplay related is really coming as an unlock for having done all the Easter eggs, but if they want to do something where every time you spawn into a match you have an ether blade and golden armor, that would be sick. I mean, those are things that are already in Black Ops 6. Maybe that's a bit too overpowered to have that, because then you'd have a 4-man squad with golden armor that have ether blades. Maybe that's too good of a reward, but obviously none of that's going to carry forward into Black Ops 7, although that would have been a pretty cool reward to start off the next Call of Duty with. But I do believe it comes down to just cosmetics, right? Maybe an animated calling card, an emblem, at most maybe an Ultra Gobblegum pack, since you do get Ultra Gobblegums for free by hitting certain milestones of leaderboard events, or by going ahead and hitting certain milestones in some of the LTMs we've seen, like the starting room. I think having free doors in every map would also be a pretty cool unlock. Not that many folks out there are probably going to revisit BO6 very much during the Black Ops 7 life cycle, but that would be a cool reward for those out there that already put in all the work to beat the Easter eggs. I also think it's fair to assume that they're waiting on directed support for The Reckoning before dropping a potential super Easter egg reward, since they want to at least give players something for having done all the quests if they did them in directed mode. And maybe a better reward could be in standard if you did all the quests in regular BO6 Zombies. I mean, imagine a quick example, right? You could spawn in with blue rarity if you did all the quests in directed mode, or purple rarity by having done all the quests in standard mode. Now, I know people can speculate all day on what the rewards could be if a super Easter egg does release in BO6, but I think all hope is kind of lost right now on the idea of a Richtofen operator, since what it seems like is that if you want to play as Richtofen in Zombies again, you're going to have to buy Black Ops 7. It'd be funny if they're like, hey, you can play as Richtofen for free without the need of a bundle in BO6, but then you got to essentially repurchase access to his character, voiced by Nolan North, with a copy of Black Ops 7. So I just don't think they're going to do that. I think if Carry Forward would have existed for BO7, I could have seen them saying, hey, here's a free Richtofen operator for doing all the Easter eggs, which you could then bring to BO7 if you want. But with Carry Forward canceled, I just doubt that that's going to be the case. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on a super Easter egg for Black Ops 6 Zombies? Do you think we're going to see one with the release of directed support for The Reckoning? Or do you think it's just something that they're going to focus on more for the end of Black Ops 7 cycle? Leave our thoughts down below. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.